Yeah, hey Ollie, I just thought this might be a bit easier, mate, to do a bit of a video on what we need to do here. So this is the junction where the stair roof comes into the weatherboarded wall. So what we need to do here, mate, is, and I just want to be 100% sure that we have actually got membrane against the framing a good 150 all around this direction here. So where my mouse is, 150 behind the building paper and the cavity battens. Needs to be 150 behind that whole area. Um, that's step number one. Step number two is exactly what you've done. Um, and then step number three is basically we need a stainless steel saddle to go down this face, over the flashing, over the cavity battens, and have a return on it. But when you have a return on it, um, make it so that, because basically the idea behind the saddle is so this new parapet cap can lap onto it, but also we need to somehow try and close this area off on the side because the weatherboards are going to come through. So when you make up the saddle, make up a fin on the side that the weatherboards can terminate into. And what I mean by that is I'll show you what we did at, you would have done this at Naki Street. Just give me a second. This is what I'm talking about. So not that image, another image, this image. So this is what we did at Naki Street is we torched on all the way behind the weatherboards, okay? Then obviously then we had a saddle hard back to the cavity that the weatherboards all got around, and then the new cap went on top of that. So that is the detail that we need to do for that area that I just had before. Which is this junction here, right? So that's a typical parapet junction where the parapet goes into a wall, but we do want a fin or more of a stop end on the side of the saddle to stop water from actually going in. When you make the cap flashing, obviously we can't, this is the highest that we have, so make the cap as high as that, maybe a touch smaller with bird's beak drippages, the whole lot, okay? Good that you've got this drainage path heading down, but the most important thing, mate, is that the membrane goes around this area behind the building paper. Please make sure that's been done. All right. So that's the first junction, and that is very similar to. I'm just going to move to this. So this is on the other side of the stair wall. I don't expect a saddle up at this area. I don't think we can actually get a saddle in there. So the only thing I was thinking about is just having the cap flashing going hard back into this area, but have an upstand on the cap flashing that we can try and get in there. So almost the cap flashing itself is forming the saddle as well. And the only reason why I'm saying this is it's so far up in that feet, it's tight on space and it's pretty low risk in terms of not having a full saddle. Just have the cap flashing with the back on it running into that zone. So unfortunately it means you need that saddle, or if you got a saddle made up, if you got a stainless steel saddle made up, that might get you out of the zone so that you can then attach the cap flashing on. So maybe it is best to have a stainless steel flashing saddle, which is going to be easier to get our hands on a lot quicker, have that fitting in the back, coming out, basically treating like a normal saddle. And that's that area. So those are the two stair areas done. Obviously the cap will run down, and the cap when it gets to the end is just going to have to be, obviously the cap will be there. You might have to just do a fold on it. The weatherboards are going to come up. The cap's going to go over the weatherboards, nice and easy. So it'll just have a fold on it here, and obviously you redoing some work there. So that's the stair roof done.